Hello, today is March the 10th. It's a Wednesday. It's a fairly cloudy, windy, but temperature is pretty high. It's going to get to 77 degree Fahrenheit or even higher. We're going to enjoy, I don't know, spring because we're close to the spring break. And today, I really like to produce this episode by quoting a very nice post by one of my favorite speakers. And her name is Lisa. Let's skip the last name. She was an ex-service member, and she has pursued PhD degrees, and she has been working very diligently on many aspects in her life, and it turned out to be a good speaker. And so she posted something. We're friends now, and she posted something about if you have a clarity, add with the conviction, and you let the action to be add upon it, then you will have your results, outcome, something like that. And that prompts me to think about a few things. One, what is clarity, right? And two, what else is crucial in this formula? And three, how am I going to be able to apply that to my life? And I shared with Andy on the way to school, and of course I'm on the way back from school. Oh, that was the company I used to work with. How about that? Well, it was work for. I was a enslaved employee there, of course. But anyway, so clarity. What is clarity? Actually, that was the company, Fidelity Investment, that taught me the meaning of clarity, and nobody had made such a big deal out of clarities than the last post I was on, for which there was the person who actually raised the question about clarity was clueless. Let's put it that way. And headless, clueless, and full of hatred, resentment, criticism. And he always yelled at people, there is no clarity. And I was always wondering, what the hell is he talking about? clarity, right? But not until this moment that when I read the post from Lisa, I think clarity is beyond the verbatim of being clear and be somehow concise, or these descriptive words. Clarity means, what is the picture? What is the picture? What is on your mind that you can describe it with a picture? And in practicing entrepreneurship and running my business, that essentially is the visual board, per se. That's the clarity. Okay, and I like this way to describe it. And that's essentially your will. What is your will, right? And then the next thing is that you need to have a conviction. The conviction is more on why you want that thing, right? I want a $1 million house, but why? I wanted to get the next post in the corporate, but why? Right? That's essentially your conviction. You explain to yourself, and you are convinced by your why. Therefore, you accept yourself and you embrace your will. That is conviction. That's the second one. But yes, now what? Right? Only the convictions. You know your why, but you don't commit to it. That's not gonna do anything good, if there is no conviction in the mind and the soul and the heart, you're not going to take any action. So what I think, which is missing in that formula, my dear, respectful Lisa friend, I think there is something missing. I don't want to make it a complicated, but essentially, commitment is missing, right? Conviction doesn't necessarily warrant a commitment. Okay, commitment is a goal, a something that you would remind yourself every day by writing it down. And that's what I said is called a commitment, is essentially the motto or your manifesto per se, right? You put on the wall, you put on your heart, and put on your forehead, like Bible, right? That's the manifesto is. Then it is the action, right? What is action? Is the course of action. Okay, so how do I apply that to my life? Well, last few episodes I talked about, I was convinced that there is a necessity for me to write down the 101 things. If time and money are not the consequence, what are the 101 things I want and I wanted to do? Okay. And of course, this is the gentleman called Monty Ho, a wonderful man, even though he was not well educated, but he was able to put it through to become the top, financial service, financial company, and co-founders and a successful billionaire, right? So, but anyway, so 101, that would be essentially my clarity, a picture, and my visual board of the things that I want. But for each of these items, of course, I need to draw some convictions, why I want it, right? And rationale behind, and maybe some tangible specifics that are attached to each item. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. And 101 is gonna be pretty tough. The first 30, 40 is going to be easy, and it will be repetitive because most of the people will call out like house, cars, boats, jets, trips, money, and that sort of thing. The materialized stuff, right? The stuff. But after that, it's going to be pretty challenging, especially the last 30, 40. Okay. With that said, it's already 8 and 24 seconds. So today's episode, it's 9 minutes. I think it's a really, really worthwhile for me and my descendants to come and visit from time to time. When they get lost in their life, in their work, in what they're pursuing. And I will tell you, my generations to come, and this year is 2021, March the 10th, I'm sorry. And I promise you that episode is going to change the way that you think, and you do. All right? With that said, I'm pumped up, I'm fired up. I feel toasted by the blessings. And ZooMe.